guys, welcome into the show. Thank you so much for being here. And we're making a real good shrimp po' boy for you today. We're going to make the bread first. Just a real nice yeasty roll bread, just a bun, whatever you want to call it. They turn out great, nice and fluffy. And we got to get started here. I have 2 cups of water, and the water's warm, okay? I warmed up the water so it helped me melt the butter. And it's just a ½ cup of butter or a stick. And usually it's a pound in one of your, at the grocery store in the box, and 1 stick is a quarter of or ½ a cup. So we take our ½ cup of butter in the warm water and just mix it up real good. And I have 1 package here of active dry yeast. It's active, meaning that it's ready to go. It's going to start the job of blooming your flour, making it fluffier, bigger. It's active yeast. Instead of having to activate it, it's ready to go for you. So we'll just add our yeast right to our buttery water. And we're also going to go ahead and add our 1/3 cup of sugar, just to have some sweet to it. Got to have a little sweetness. And we want to add all that to the warm water just so it gets dissolved. We want to dissolve the sugar and the yeast. Okay, just not too much, just get it all set up. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add my water right to the mixer. Okay, make sure I get all the sugar and everything out of the bottom of it. We'll set this aside. Okay, and then I have just over 4 cups. It should be about 5 cups of flour. Maybe need a little bit more. We might have to go a bit more. But we're going to add about half of this to that water right now. And then we're going to add just a little bit of salt. Just a, teaspoon or 2. Okay, right to that flour. Then what we'll do is get the mixer going. Get it locked down. Just make sure it's down pretty low and get it started. Once we get the flour to start to mix up, we're going to add the eggs one at a time. Okay. Just to get it blended real well. Add the other egg. We're going to add our ½ cup of cold water right here. And it's blended up real good. It's pretty much like pancake batter right now. So I'm going to shut it off so I can add the rest of my flour right here. And I'm going to save just a little bit of that in case I need it later. So we'll save a ¼ cup. Okay, and we're going to start it right back up. Now once you've added all this flour to it, after a minute or so, it's going to start to adhere itself to that dough hook. We have a dough hook on the mixer here instead of a whisk or a paddle. And the flour itself will start adhering itself to that dough hook. You'll know that your dough is ready once your flour is hooked onto that hook. So we'll grab a spatula here, just so I can get down in there and get that rest of that flour that's against the wall, get it to start mixing. You can always also crank up the speed here too. Okay, and we'll get that, crank it up just a little bit, and it looks great. Again, sometimes you have to shut it off and just scrape down the walls, get that extra flour. The paddle or the dough hook won't go all the way out and touch the walls of the bowl, so you have to help it along. Now, once I get that set up, let me clean that up just a little bit. Okay, and what I'll do here is take a little bit of this flour and add it to my board, just so I can start making my dough balls here. Okay, and I'm going to put the rest right in here. And my dough is adhered to my paddle real good. And you can hear it. We'll fire it on up and get it finished up. Okay, we're done. What we'll do here is take our dough and our dough hook off of here. What we'll do here is take our dough and we'll cover it up for 30 to 45 minutes and just let it bloom. Once it rises one time, what we have to do then is make ourselves dough balls. You want to split it up into 6 different dough balls and put it in your baking pan with a little bit of butter and flour, and you'll be all set. After the break, you guys will show you what it all looks like. We'll be back in just a bit. Okay guys, welcome back. We are at the second stage of our dough. We got it all punched down. It's risen one time. We're gonna go ahead and get it into our pan and let it rise again before we get it in the oven. And I just want to show you guys how this works out. And I have a lot of extra flour sitting here on the deck. The dough is going to be kind of sticky, so you want to make sure that you have plenty of flour here, just so you're not all stuck to it. You know, it's 5.5 cups of flour. You may want to make sure you have 6 in the making process, just so you know you have plenty. But you got to have a little bit extra laying on your surface that you're working on. Okay, the more you turn the dough in on itself, the stickier it's going to be. So you want to make sure you got that surface all floured up. Okay, and what I'll do is just keep on pushing it in from the bottom until I can pinch it together, just like that, not drop it. So I can pinch it together real good, the bottom. Okay, just kind of flatten it out a little bit with your hand and get it right into your pan. And I've greased this pan up real good so that it's ready to go. But once we get all our dough into this pan, we're gonna go ahead and just cut a few slits into it so that it'll look cool once it comes out. But again, just turn it in on itself and just kind of flatten it out a little bit. You want the size of about a medium-sized hamburger, a 6-7 ounce hamburger is what you want to have. But again, you just keep turning the dough in on itself. Make sure you got plenty of flour just so you can get that surface. Okay, fold it in, pinch it at the bottom, and just set it up. And we'll do every bit of it here. A little bit extra flour on the surface. Okay, and then start to fold it, just like that. Flatten it out a little. And what the reason we want to get the pan full is so that it'll look the dough will stick together, and once they bake up, they'll be all stuck together and they'll look really nice. Okay, do this last 2. Fold it up and pan it up. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to wash my hands. Get a good wash going on. Okay, get our hands nice and clean. And what I'll do here is take this out of my way. Just move that to there. And just get a quick wipe on the surface. Because for our po' boy, we need a really nice mayonnaise to go on our sandwich. Okay, so what we're going to do is take this bowl here, and I'm going to grab another whisk. We'll take our mayonnaise here, and what we're going to do with this, will you go ahead and use the entire 15 ounces of mayo. Okay, just get that whole small jar right into this bowl. Okay, and we're going to use some Sriracha, just an Oriental hot sauce we're going to use. Okay, we have just some good wasabi, just some prepared wasabi sauce, and we'll use again about a tablespoon of that. I have some good sambal, some good chili garlic, just for a little bit of extra spicy, and we'll add about a tablespoon of that. Then I'm going to take some mustard, and I need a spoon for that. We'll get us about a teaspoon of Dijon, and then just about a teaspoon of Worcestershire to finish it up here. Okay, and this will be for our bread. This will go on our bread on both sides of the bread, and we just want to mix this up real good till it's blended. You got a nice little sauce that'll complement any sandwich you want to make. Give it a little bit of spice, just some good flavors to it. Okay, just like that. And then the last thing I'll do, I'll take my bread after it's started to rise just a little bit, and I'll cut me some slits right into it. So once it rises up, it'll expand and be nice and big loaves of bread. They're going to be beautiful, just like that. Just 3 slices right into it, not too deep. Okay, and these are going to go into the oven. Once they've risen up, you want to let them rise for about 30 more minutes. Then you put them in the oven at 350. They'll turn out beautiful. Well, guys, when we come back, we're going to get our shrimp cooking, get our sandwich made, and show you what it looks like. This is cooking today. Coming up next, we'll make our wasabi mayonnaise. Okay guys, our bread is done, and I want to get it out of the oven here. Show you guys how beautiful those rolls turned out. Look at that. Cut the slits in them and turned out beautiful. Man, you can hit it with a little butter at this point. Take us a little butter here. Just rub it while they're hot. You're gonna love these. And you can use this bread recipe for just rolls for dinner if you want. It's just a simple yeast roll recipe you guys can use for a lot of cool things, man. Homemade bread is always the way to go, okay? Once we got our bread out, what we'll do here is start getting our shrimp fried. And I have just some 26, 30 count shrimp, and I've dried them off real good, okay? And I have some flour here that's just unseasoned, and I'm just gonna toss these in this flour best I can just to get them coated. And as soon as I get them out of the flour, shake a little bit of the excess flour off. I'm gonna put them right down in some eggs. And I have a couple of eggs here, and we'll just get as much of that flour off of there as possible. Like that. We're gonna need all of these for our po' boys. Okay, and if you want to, you can use a little bit bigger shrimp. And I would suggest cutting them in half lengthwise. That'll help you a lot with the sandwich making. But once we get all those out of there, we'll just toss them, and we'll keep this hand over here dry. Just toss them in our egg just to coat them real good. Okay, and then we'll do a few at a time into our breadcrumbs. And with our dry hand, we'll just toss some breadcrumbs up onto the shrimp. Just get them mixed up, seasoned up real good. Once you get them coated, just get them right down in the fryer. Go ahead and get the basket dropped. Just get them going. Work quickly so they'll come up at the same time. Okay, just like that. And then we'll get the rest of these in here. Just get them coated real good. Just like that. You want to make sure these all get dropped as near to each other as you can, so that the cook time will be about the same. Just like that. once you get them all into the fryer, you want to make sure you get that baby moving as soon as you can. Just get the fryer basket moving. I'm going to wash my hands real quick, you guys. Get them cleaned up. Okay. And once we get my hands cleaned up here, we're going to go ahead and start making our sandwich. While our shrimp are going, we'll take our lettuce here and just get some lettuce shredded up for our sandwich. Just do whatever you like. Use whatever you like. If you want to use some that are already shredded, that's okay. But we want it thin as we can get it for our po' boy. Then we'll take a nice vine-ripe tomato. Just cut us off a nice 4 nice slices here for our couple of sandwiches. Then what I'll do, I'll get me a couple of these nice rolls out of here. Try not to get burned because they're hot. Okay, look at that. Get that baby and just cut it in 2. Just like that. Look at that, how soft that is on the inside. Got a little bit of a crust on it on the outside right now. And I'll use a spoon. That's what we'll do. So we need to grab our mayonnaise. And we'll put us a nice spoonful on the bottom of that bread, just like that. Then we'll come back and put some on the top too. You gotta have sauce on both sides of the bread, making a nice sandwich like this. Okay, and then what I like to do, I like to put my lettuce on the bottom, and then put my tomatoes down on the bottom as well, just like that. Come here and look at my shrimp, and I want you guys to see just how quick these go. I mean, they do not take very long at all to get to that beautiful golden brown. They're mostly water and the shrimp, so they don't take very long to cook, the shrimp. And I mean, they are ready to go. We will get us a few out. Get that basket raised up just like that. And we're gonna let them drain for 1 second. And while that's draining, I'll grab me a plate here. And I'm also gonna grab a pickle out of the fridge. Gotta have a nice pickle on the plate. We'll also grab our bread knife, because we need that too. Okay, now that our shrimp are nice and drained, we'll bring them over here to the bread, just like this. Watch this. And you can do whatever you like, man. Just make it how you want it. It is totally up to you. As many as you can get on there. If you want to make a baguette out of the bread, make it a little bit elongated. It's totally up to you. What we'll do here is just take all our shrimp and get them right on there. We got our top piece of bread. Put it just like that. Take our bread knife. Oh, listen to that bread. Did you hear that? Cut that baby in 2. Plate it up like that. Look at that. Take a beautiful pickle. Call it a sandwich. Beautiful. Made with love. My goodness. Fried shrimp po' boy.